All right, so basically what I need to do now is attach this, these arms and legs to the body. I'm not going to really worry about, these are like, whatever. So the thing is, this is more mass, if you look at like this compared to this, right? So 8 is fine for this, but 8 around this way is actually not appropriate, and it's certainly not enough for a face. And 8 for this, you could argue maybe go to 12 or something, but 8 should suffice for just this generic round shape. But for this, it's not so much. So what I'm actually going to do is poly smooth this, which will then give me enough geometry to stick my arm on here, as well as develop a face later on. So all I'm going to do is just select it, hit poly smooth, just go mesh, mesh, and then where are you? Smooth. I call it poly smooth, but just because basically what it's doing is it's subdividing the geometry. Okay, good. So now we got that going on, and using this now we can go through and add our other pieces and such. Okay. Yay. All right. Now what I'm going to do is go to face, and I am going to look for the center. So this is the center. So my arm's a little bit off, but the center is actually here. I mean, I don't know if you can see where that center line is, but I'm looking for the center line, and I'm going to go on either side of that. Okay, so I'm going to grab that one, this one, and this one, and we're going to delete those to insert, to attach my arm to. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take this guy here, and I'm going to do modify center pivot to get him centered, and we're going to move his back just a touch. All right, and obviously I'd use my illustrations, my panels here, but I'm just going to do it manually. All right, and then I'm going to grab the faces here and get rid of those. So I'm going to hold tab and click and drag these and delete. Okay, good. Now I'm going to grab this one, poly, what do you call it? Combine, right? So mesh combine, and I am now going to use the target weld. Make sure it's on target, and I want to keep the round shape of my arm, not the squareness of the body. So I'm actually going to merge from the body to the arm. So I'm going to start where it's clearly the center here, and then just work my way back. Boom. And then I'm just going to go all the way around. Boom. 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 And boom. Beauteous. So now the arm is officially attached. That's great. The leg's going to be a little bit more difficult to manage. So I basically got to take these faces here. So I got to move one away from the crotch. I got to find the center line, which is right here. So you can see there's center on both sides. So I'm just going to go 2 over from there. So this is going to be the one, this one, and this one. And for some reason that got selected. As well did that. Okay. So I'm just going to W, make sure it's centered on that. See, I selected that too. So I just want those 4, and I will hit delete. Then I'll go to edges, double click on this edge loop, and I'm just going to expand it because you can see clearly there's not enough space in there for it. So I'm just going to hit B for soft select. See, why are you? I only want the 1. All right, there we go. For some reason, the other thing was selected too. So B for soft select. You can see it's going across right now, so I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm going to select this geometry, and let me see something. If I go like that, screw it. We won't even worry about that yet. So I'm going to do is I'm going to select this. I'm going to turn B for soft select off. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to delete the hole here. Same idea as before. I want to keep the roundness of the leg. I don't care about the squareness of the body here that these faces are on. So select both. Mesh combine, this and this. Mesh combine. And now I'm going to go ahead and use target weld. And I'm going to find the center here. Okay, so if you look, you can see the leg's a little bit off from center of the body here. So I'm going to go to face here first. So I just double click on one of these faces. Since it's not like physically attached, it'll grab this whole shell. Move it forward a little bit and double click this and move this one back a little bit so that these center lines match up a little bit better. Okay, now we'll go back to target weld. Boom, and hit target weld. Make sure it's still on target. And I'm going to go start from the center here. So here to here. And then I'm just going to go every single vert. It's hard to tell exactly which one they need to go to, so just go you know, from next one to next one to next one, it's the easiest way. And then if you end up missing one or something, just undo and go back. And just try again. Boom, and boom. Okay, good. So now we got the leg attached. Not exactly pretty, but it is there. Okay. Cute. I'm going to grab this edge loop. So I got to hold shift and double click on each one of these. And if you look, this should actually be, actually we'll just grab these here, these two. I'm going to hold V for soft select. And I'm going to grab this and pull this up. Like so. There we go. Alright, then I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to lower my soft select a touch. I don't want it to affect this outside. I just want it to try and affect the inside here. I'm going to pull this up and out, like so. That looks very adequate. And then I'll grab this one, and again, I'm going to lower it so it doesn't affect the initial one there. I'm just trying to get it up and over. And I'll grab this one, Q, boom, and W again, up and over. All right, that looks okay. I'm gonna go to vertice, up this a little bit, try to get up and over. Grab this guy. All right, boom. All right, and basically, I'm just trying to massage the shape here so it's not quite so stark. There we go. Take this one. You can see this one's like way in. All right. It's not the most elegant solution, but it should work. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, yeah, I'm going to do this. I want to just flip this so that I have the same on both sides. So I'm going to go to face, turn off soft select, and I'm going to click on one. I'm going to hit Q for the select so I don't have the handle in the way, because W, E, and R all have these handles, but if you hit Q, it's none. I'm going to hold shift, double click. Okay, let's try it again. Hold shift, double click. It'll grab that line, right? So it's one from center, so it's the other side, okay? I'm going to hit delete, then just double click on the shell and delete. Now I got half the guy gone. Now, everything should be center. Mine is, but I'm sure yours probably may not be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edges, double click to get this edge that goes all the way around my guy. I'm going to go to the side view here. Okay, I'm going to hold R for scale, and I'm just going to pull the one that's perpendicular. So in this case, it's the x-axis, and I'm going to pull it towards the center of this, which will make sure this is flat. Then I'll hit W, and I'm going to hold X for grid snap, and I'm going to go out and back in. I just want to make sure it's right on origin. Then I'm going to make sure in object mode, I'm going to hold D and V and pull this pivot off and pull it back, just to make sure everything's right on center. Now, if you remember before, we already set up that we did edit, duplicate, special, and I set it so it's -1, okay? So if I hit Control Shift D or Command Shift D, it's going to duplicate it and automatically flip to the other side. All right, so you can see that both are basically, that's a complete duplicate. I'm going to select both of them and do Mesh Combine. So now they're combined. But if I hit 3, you can see they're not actually, well, let me turn off the, they're not actually combined. The vertices are not merged, okay? So I need to do that. So I'm going to go to Vertex, and I'm just going to click and drag and make sure I grab just this included in it, all of the center edges. And then I'm going to go to Edit Mesh, Merge, Option Box. And I'm just going to add, make sure that you have, it by default it's 0.01. Make sure you put an extra 0 in there, okay? And hit merge. If you don't do that, what'll end up happening is that vertices that are close, like this one and this one, it'll actually merge this way as well. By putting it at 0.01, it makes it such a small amount, 0.001, I'm sorry. It makes such a small amount that it will actually merge those two together. Now, I'm going to select this again. I'm going to go to the modeling toolkit, and I'm going to turn on Symmetry, Object X. Now, whatever I do on one side, it will do on the other. Okay, so I have a complete dude and or dudette. All right. Good. So I'm going to continue working on this. What I'm going to do actually is just use the sculpting tools. So here's sculpting, and I'm going to use this relax. All right. Now I like to actually see the geometry. If you look, I can't really see it that well. So I'm going to turn on wireframe on shaded, which is this little box with the lines on it. B is the, so I'm going to B, click and drag. B, just like soft select, is the the size of the brush. So I just keep clicking and dragging to the left. You can also go up here if it's like super big and just get it down to like almost nothing, and then you can see it. M is strength, okay? So M up and down is strength. V is the size of the brush. So relax, that's what I'm on, right? Yeah. That is going to kind of smooth out the surface here. So I'm just going to kind of click, and it will smooth that out for me. Now if I hold shift, that's actually smooth. But you see, the problem is that it almost it's almost making it a little too much. So I'm not super happy with that. Let me see something. This is okay, let's do it on both sides. Okay. So I'm just trying to smooth out some of that. It doesn't really need too much smoothing. And then I can go to the just the regular sculpt brush here, and again, be in whatever. And I'm gonna take the strength way down, because see that, I'm gonna watch when I draw. It's gonna go wah, way too much. So I'm gonna take magnitude down a whole bunch, and I can kind of sculpt and then hold shift to smooth afterwards. My shift is very strong though, so I'm gonna go to smooth here, and I'm gonna take my strength and pull this down to like a lot weaker. So it does a little bit, but that might even be too much. So it does a little bit, but not crazy amounts. Okay, go back to sculpt. And then you'll see that the smooth, when I hold shift now, the smooth on this one will be good. So, you know, you can change the smooth by going to this one and then changing it. So now I can just kind of sculpt if I feel I need to like adjust the shape at all. You can kind of do that a little bit, you know, maybe smooth that out, maybe add a little bit more on this end. You know, you can sculpt a little bit if you feel like you need to. So like back here, he needs more buttocks. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little more junk in his trunk, if you will. All right. And then I'll just hold shift to smooth it afterwards. Generally speaking, every time you draw or sculpt, I should say, you want to hit shift afterwards to smooth it out. Okay. All right. And they also have this nice little grab tool, which is good. So if you want to quickly just adjust some geometry here and quickly just pull and grab areas, it will let you quickly do that. All right. So I'm just kind of doing the best I can with what I got. All right. Q. All right. So we have a basic shape. Now what I'm going to do is fix some things here that we need in order for this to move better. For one, I just need to add density for every area that's going to articulate. Okay, so we already did it with the fingers when we built them. Notice that we put three, oh crap, I deleted some faces there. All right, so if you notice that happened, I'm just gonna double click and do mesh fill hole. That'll fill that hole. Or it's probably on their side too. I don't know if it'll do, oh, it did, beautiful, okay. So you'll notice that with the fingers we did 3 edge loops for each area of articulation. We basically need to do the same thing for the rest of this, okay? So all I'm going to do is just go to, you know, I'm going to wait till the next video. Basically, we're going to add a little bit more geometry to just help flesh out some of the other areas here, and then we'll do the face last.